I think that's about the Minnesota Nice being such a huge part of it, right? Because if you think about the movie, if you take away the setting of Minnesota and how people talk and how people present themselves there, the story is really, really fucking dark.
Yeah.
And so I think that element of where it is taking place is a huge part of the comedic timing and the moments that could be unbearably dark and make them have this sprinkling of incredible humor.
You look at that scene where, the yarn is moving, all this stuff, and it's terrifying.
Scary as hell.
But then it's funny.
Yeah, because they start talking, right? It's like the minute those guys start talking and it's like Dumb and Dumber kind of.
I know.
I'm guessing there was a perp in the commode.
Put this in here. Yeah. Okay. See? Now I'm gonna twist it. Yeah? Oh. It's okay. Can you hold it? Yeah.
Where'd you learn to do all this?
It's not my first getaway. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, at least tell me your name.
Okay. You're gonna be okay.
Where's the second fella?
By the front door.
Breathing?
Welcome to the Actor's Side today. It is hard to believe already when I say this, but she is a 4-time Emmy nominee. And it seems like only yesterday we were talking about Ted Lasso, for which you have 3 nominations and supporting actress in a comedy series. But you're moving on up, as George Jefferson says, and you're now in the outstanding lead actress in a limited series, anthology, or television movie, all of those things. And this is a limited series, Fargo. Welcome, Juno Temple. I'm so happy to have you here on the Actor's Side.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, we never got to do this during Ted Lasso, but I always wanted to, and it never worked. We've talked virtually during that series and all of that. Do you miss it?
Of course I do. Absolutely.
Everyone was shocked that it's 3 years and out, 3 seasons and out. We thought that would go on forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but sometimes it's good to, put something on a pause or maybe end it forever whilst it's on a really high note.
Yeah.
And I think there was something about Ted Lasso that Jason had mapped it out in his brain as kind of a 3-season thing.
Yeah.
And so if it was to come back in the future, it would really need to sort of be rethought. It has to come from the heart with him with this show.
Yeah.
And that's why we love it so much, right? Is that it comes from the heart, truly.
Yeah.
But I do miss it. I miss it a lot. And that was something that was actually really important, I think, with the transition from doing Ted Lasso to going on to do Fargo, is I had about 3 days in between wrapping Ted Lasso, and then I had to pack an apartment and then fly. So I wrapped on a Friday, Saturday to pack up an apartment, and flew Sunday to Calgary and started, costume fittings and hair and makeup tests and camera tests pretty much the minute I landed, and then had to be on camera by the Thursday or Friday of that week. So it was a quick turnaround. And I think that helped with the kind of grieving process of Ted Lasso for me, because it never felt like it was a complete ending.
Not for your character. I think there's much more that could be done, that you could do with her. Do you think so?
Oh, it would be gorgeous, but it would have to be I can't wrap my head around the idea of doing it without the full team.
Right.
I
mean, they did talk about spin-offs and things to keep it going. Would that be something that would interest you?
I just don't know how I would do it without the team. It's such a team show, you know, and I think I miss Hannah on a weekly basis. I miss seeing her all the time. But, great things happen when a show is a success and doors open for people and it takes people to amazing places, but it does mean it's harder to connect with your friends sometimes.
Yeah.
So I miss her a lot.
Yeah.
But we do stay in touch a lot too. And whenever she's here and whenever I'm there, we, make time.
Yeah.
And I miss playing Keely Jones because she was such a ray of sunshine, you know?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
I know,
she
right?
really was. And she almost became like a friend. So I do miss her, and I think about her sometimes when I'm going into life and walking into a situation. I do have these moments of thinking, like, how would Keely handle this, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really precious too.
You know, when I look though, I mean, you know, you have been in so many kind of iconic things. When you mentioned the movies and the things, Notes on a Scandal, which, by the way, I write a column here called Notes on a Season, and I got that from that movie.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I said Notes on a Scandal. I did Notes on a Season, talking about
Love that.
award seasons, and so it lives to this day, thanks to that movie that you were in.
That was my first movie.
It was your first movie,
Yeah,
right?
that was my first audition. That when I told my parents I wanted to be an actor, they were like, okay, well, we found out about this open audition. Go see how many other girls want to be actresses.
Not bad for a first movie to be opposite Judi Dench and
Kate Blanchett and Bill Nye, Richard Eyre. I was like, whoa. Yeah, Judi Dench taught me what a wild line was, because I remember they asked me to do a wild line, and I was like, what does that mean?
Wow.
You know, without any context, that sounds like you can really go rogue. Yeah, so I had, that was a wild.
How did that come about for you, that first?
So I went to this open audition. I don't remember how my parents heard about it, but when I initially told them that I really, really did want to be an actress, they were both a bit, I guess, frightened because, you know.
Julian Temple is your father,
Yes,
so
he is.
He's no slouch in this business.
Yeah, no, truly. And also knows it from the other side of the camera.
Yeah.
And so knows that, you know, as an actor or an actress, you get told no for certain reasons, and sometimes it really hurts. And so it can be about appearance, it can be about it's different things, and it can affect you, but it also, you have to want to do this with every ounce of passion you have in your body, because then you can kind of take the hit, but let the drip roll off, you know?
Right.
And so my parents were like, okay, if you really do want to do this, here's this open audition. And my best friend in high school at the time, we went to London to a big warehouse somewhere in like Hackney. And there was a long line of people waiting to go in, and I had no idea what was going to happen when we went inside. And then it was just like a picture and then write down your name and your address.
Yeah.
So that was it. And the next day I got a phone call saying that Richard Eyre would like me to come and read, and could they bike a script over to where I was. And I was like, oh my God, they're gonna bike a script? What is it? Ah! This is so exciting. And so the script got biked over, and I read the script, and then I was told what scenes were the audition scenes, and I learned the lines, and I think I had about a week. And then I went to the audition space, and it was one of those situations where you can hear the audition happening whilst you're waiting outside, which still to this day, literally makes me shake like this thinking about it. Auditioning is so important, but it is terrifying still every time for me. And I think because I got so nervous hearing these really great auditions ahead of me, I went in and I had to have some kind of a breakdown in the audition, and the nerves were my very good friend in that experience, because I had a real good nervous breakdown.
Really?
And I let it out. And then about, I don't know, another week or 10 days after that, I was back at my parents' house in the country, and my mum came running. I was sitting in the car because we were going to go into the local town and go do some grocery shopping, and my mum came running out in tears, and I was like, oh my God, what's happened? She was like, Juno, baby, you booked the job. And so, yeah, I got the job, and then that was the summer I was about to turn 16, and so I also was an adult in the UK. I never had to do school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I went and shot that movie over the summer. It was
so
amazing.
cool. And you did many others in your home country. Atonement.
That was my next audition. I booked both of my first auditions. I'll never forget that, too.
That was nominated for Best Picture again.
Saoirse, too. Also, she was nominated. I remember that was so exciting.
Unbelievable.
I remember my mum going, it goes downhill at some point, baby. And I did not book my third audition.
So where did The Other Boleyn Girl come in?
Wow, that was a while ago now, too.
These are all like big movies that you've been in, and
Yeah, that was...
I haven't even mentioned Batman. I haven't even mentioned The Dark Knight with Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
that has to be
so cool.
Was that cool?
I think that was the biggest set at that point in my life that I had ever been on. And I remember when they said cut, and we were filming downtown LA, walking down a sidewalk about to go into Selena Kyle's apartment. And when they said cut, reset, the whole world went backwards. And I remember being like, oh my God, oh my God, this is all the Batman set? And it completely, it blew my mind at how much of it had been created for that movie. I was like, that is some incredible attention to detail right there.
And Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, that had to be fun.
It was great fun. I mean, I got to work with, Imelda Staunton and Leslie Manville. And the first one, we got to be on wires in wetsuits with the dots all over our face. And like the in-between takes, the three of us hanging out like potato sacks. I was like, this is amazing. I'm learning all of these incredible things from these truly brilliant, iconic English actresses. And then also laughing ourselves stupid about like front wedgies. Yeah, that was magic too.
I mean, just amazing. And now I have to say Fargo, which this is, I think, the fifth incarnation of Fargo. Were you a Fargo fan? Did you watch the series? Did you see the movie, obviously?
I grew up with Coen Brothers movies. I've seen Fargo a lot of times. It's one of my favorite films ever. And yes, I was very familiar with the TV show and had loved the TV show. And I'd also, I remember when the first season was coming out thinking like, how is this gonna work? How are they gonna do some sort of continuation of that movie and that tone and that kind of, oh my God. And then it blew my mind. I thought the first season was so brilliantly woven together as a continuation from the world that was the movie of Fargo. And that continued season to season, and I think from an actor's perspective too, just watching the performances throughout the different installments of Fargo and the movie. It's like some of the greatest acting ever of all time. So I think, yes, I was a diehard fan and very familiar with all of the above.
Yeah, this one is it's different than the other four seasons,
very
definitely.
Much so. But a real homage to the movie.
It was complete homage to the movie. I mean, I wouldn't even have wanted to watch it had I not seen the movie. I would have missed so much. I wouldn't have known really.
The yarn and how the sink is set up kind of the same. Like the whole sequence is it was so brilliant. And what a cool thing to get to experience, kind of reimagining those moments that I'd watched so many times in a movie,
And getting to do that's so cool.
It was a pinch me moment, for real. Yeah.
I asked Noah, he was in here for the other series I do, Behind the Lens, a few weeks ago. And I said, so do the Coen brothers, what's your relationship there? How do they, he says, oh, every now and then I talk to them and they're cool with it. But it's his baby, as it is, but it's very much an homage. They never lose sight of where it came from. And what a great part. I mean, two parts, I should say.
Yeah.
But you play Dorothy Lyon and also Nadine Tillman.
Yeah.
She is a mother, a nurturer, and she's going to survive anything.
Yeah, she's a survivalist. And she's also, a feral cat.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, I'm so grateful in such a profound way that these women were brought into my life. I just think characters like that don't come along very often.
Right.
And getting to inhabit them, you learn so much. And I loved every second of it. And it wasn't easy, it was hard work, as it should be. But it was really, truly one of the most fulfilling and beautiful experiences of my life to date. And I think I knew when it was becoming a reality that I was going to get to be a part of this and play Dot and learn about her. I knew that it was going to be one of the greatest gifts an actress could ever receive. And I think that also made it really scary. But at the same time, why would you do things if you aren't a little bit afraid of them, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was also about having seen these incredible performances throughout these different chapters of Fargo. And just knowing that every aspect of these chapters, from costume to props to hair and makeup to lighting to camera to directing to performing to stunts, all of it is at the top level of film and TV making. And so that you're going to be working in a space that you walk into a set and every piece of wallpaper is going to matter for some reason.
Wow.
And the way light is set and the way the smoke is being puffed into a room is to create a certain feeling or thought or atmospheric moment that you didn't even know was going to be heightened by that, And I think the dialogue and the way Noah writes these incredible different episodes is like you're salivating to start giving it a try on its feet, and you can't wait. And it's as as actors in it, we were all so excited to get each episode. It was like we would eat it so quickly and read through and just want to discuss with each other every element of it. And so I think that Dot is one of the most beautiful, brave, loving women I've ever gotten to walk around in the shoes of. And I am so, so grateful for her.
She's
Truly.
certainly complex. Oh, man. What about the accent?
That took a minute.
I'm wondering, because that's a very particular thing.
Oh, yes.
And you're living in the shadows of Frances McDormand
Yes.
and everybody else.
Yes. So I got lucky and I got to work with the most incredible dialect coach who also worked with Frances McDormand in the movie and has done each installment since. Liz Hemmelstein, who is his, like, she's a ninja warrior. She's amazing. Because I was also shooting Ted Lasso. So Keely, who's kind of, you know, Essex accent, then there's Juno, and then we started to create Dot. And it took a minute. It took a minute. I think I started about 6 weeks before going, and I remember having my brothers over for dinner and trying out the accent on them.
Oh, really?
And they just looked at me, how long have you got till you start? I was like, oh no, oh no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but then when it clicks, you don't want to stop. And so then I would start doing it in like coffee shops or when we went to the airport and just test it out to see if people thought I was really weird or if they didn't bat an eyelid.
Fool anybody or, you know.
But then I stayed in the accent the entire time we shot, actually. That was one thing that I found to be really important because the accent is complicated and musically so specific. If you trip up on an accent in the middle of a take and it's normally somebody else's coverage and it's a brilliant moment and you fluff the accent, it's kind of like a beat when you are walking along the street and you trip and you get that weird hot flush.
Right.
Same feeling, and then you forget your next line. And then you ruin the take for everybody, you know? So if you practice the accent enough that when you mess it up, you don't think twice about it, you're just like, you keep going.
Yeah.
I think that can be a way to just make sure that you're not ruining somebody else's great moment or a take that's really going brilliantly and things like that. So staying in the accent is really important for me.
That was good. Well, you did it. The evidence is your...
Also, David, who plays Wayne, is from Minnesota. So I had a good team partner who could call me out if I was really screwing it up.
Oh, that's good right there.
Yeah.
Well, we know John Hamm's not from Minnesota. What was it like working with him?
It was interesting because I spent the whole, chapter running away from him and trying not to be found by him. Yeah. So I actually didn't work with him a lot. And then when we did cross paths for the next few episodes, I think we worked together in total maybe 5-6 days.
Wow.
And they were hardcore. And they were, but they were also brilliant. And they were brilliant because they were filled with a space that was really respected. And it felt safe enough to go to the dark places that we needed to go to. Yeah. And so working with him was a real pleasure because he was very respectful when we had to do all that stuff.
Yeah, it's wild. So I have to ask you about a couple of things we haven't seen yet that I can't wait. Again, on a very big scale Hollywood movie, Venom, Last Dance, you're playing Dr. Payne.
Yeah, I am.
And I think that got delayed because of the strike.
Yeah, we started, I think I did one day.
One day and then boom, shut down?
Yep, exactly.
Is that bad when you've prepared and you're ready to go and then, got to stop and come back?
But it felt like it was for a good purpose, you know? And so it wasn't like, it was a camaraderie situation. Yeah. And I think sometimes taking a little pause is not always going to be a bad thing. It meant that we ended up being able to make a wig for me, which was cool. Because my curly hair, if it gets straightened all the time, can take a real beating. But it just meant that we were excited to come back too. Right. And it was fun. We had fun. It was like
Tom Hardy and
and Clark Baker, who I have a lot of really great scenes with, and Chiwetel, and then again talk about big sets. Oh my God. I was like, wow, this is a big movie.
These are big
movie. Which is, I've done a few days on things like that, but this was, I got to be a part of the whole thing really. And then also, we got to go to Spain and film out in the desert in Spain and seeing, all of this space, and then you realize how much of it is taken over by the movie again. You're like, wow, the attention to detail here is just extraordinary.
And you just told me as you walked in here, you just got back from 3 months shooting Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Yeah. That's a great title.
It's a great title. And,
Gore Verbinski.
Gore
directing.
Verbinski. Yeah, I hold a real big space in my heart for him. I had such a great time working with him and the whole cast, man. It was a killer cast. And I think it's going to be a really kick-ass movie. It's kind of unlike anything I've ever read before.
You are on fire, I
you.
have to tell you. Well, congratulations on
you.
yet another Emmy nomination, and this one is the first time in that category. And let me tell you something. Limited series, that's a crazy, crazy category. There were so many good ones this year.
And can we just talk about the other women that are a part of this
I mean,
year too? When I just saw my name in that list, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty
There are
impressive.
people that have been inspiring
Jodie
me
Foster.
forever. I know.
It's very good, well deserved. Thank you for joining us on the Actors Side today, Juno Temple.
Thank you for having me.
Thank